everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is a really beautiful autumn day here today, but today I really wanted to talk about my Christmas preparations, and I wanted to share lots of tips of things that I'm doing now to be really organised for Christmas. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I've made Christmas planning videos in the past. I use a really simple Christmas binder to keep all of my stuff together. So I have things like my gift cards that I bought in advance, I pop them in there. I've got my recipes, I've got things that I need to do, things that I need to buy, and I've also got the children's lists and lists of things that I bought for the family. Now I find that really useful to go back over to see what I've bought for people in the past, see what I've cooked or made in the past, and just being able to go back and think, okay, I bought this for this person a couple of years ago, perhaps I'll buy that again. Or also, what have I bought for my children a few years ago, and then I can think about my nieces and nephews and perhaps I could buy a similar item for them at the same age. So I've just found that really useful to look over what I've done before and get lots of ideas of things that I'm going to do or buy for this year. Now, one of the first things that I did was I looked on my work calendar and I worked out what time off I wanted at Christmas. There's always things that I want to be doing. If there's a nativity play or a show, then I want that time off booked in. The other thing that I've done is that I have booked a couple of days in the run up to Christmas when the children will be at school to have a day off to myself. Now that sounds really lovely and luxurious, and it is, but I work hard on those days. So I did this last year. I took a day in that week just before they broke up from school, and I spent the day just wrapping all the presents. So I had all the presents out in the sitting room and I just blitzed it and wrapped everything. I had a Christmas movie going and all of that, and it was great. I didn't need to worry about people snooping or the kids coming in or whatever. I could just get on with it, and I will definitely keep doing that now and in the future. The other thing is to make sure that I've booked in things like if I want a hair appointment. I do my own nails, but if you wanted to have a nail appointment as well, that's something that you might want to think about, either getting time off work or just getting those things booked in December so that you've got those things and you don't have to worry about not being able to get in for those things nearer the time. Just talking about booking things, the other thing is around food slots. So like for example, I usually book a click and collect food slot from Asda just to get quite a few bits in the run up to Christmas, and you can basically fill your basket and then you don't actually need to pay for it nearer the time. But so you can keep changing the items in it, and actually that worked out really well for me last year. So if the click and collect slots or the delivery slots are already open for you in your area and you want one, see if you can get that booked now. The other thing is speak to friends and family, and work friends of course, and just see if there are any nights out that you want to go on or plan before Christmas. It's good to get those things booked in. I always like to book something between sort of Christmas and New Year, because sometimes it can, for me, feel a little bit flat. So either we might book a ballet or a panto or some other show, so that we've got something to look forward to after Christmas. Obviously it's important to know where you're going, so who's going where on Christmas Day and Boxing Day, who's hosting. I am actually hosting this year, so this is, I haven't done that for 3 or 4 years now, so I've got a whole other element of planning to do around the food, things that I want to do at home. So it's important to know where you're going, who's going where. We actually as a family organised that back in October, so we all knew where everybody was going, and also you've got that time to delegate tasks. Now when it was Emily's birthday in September, I delegated most of the food out to the people that were coming, and there were 21 of us I think in the end. And delegating it was great. It worked out so well. And I think when it comes to Christmas, you have to remember that you don't have to do it all yourself. And people want to help, and I have to remember that and keep that in the back of my mind, that people are coming to your home and they do want to help and be a part of it. So think about what you can delegate, not just the food. It could be delegate out the crackers, or a quiz, or some other activity that you could do, just, you know, a game or something like that over the day. So think delegating as much as you possibly can really helps you sort out your workload. It's also the time to work out what people want, and with my kids I do ask them to make lists. They write letters to Santa, but also when we go out shopping, if they see something that they like, I just get them to sort of hold it up and I take a photograph, and I'm not committing to it, but you know, it just gives me those ideas for later. I have sent those photos to family members before and said, do you want to see about getting this for Emily or whatever? And that's a really good idea of sort of really working out what they want. I do also ask my family what they want. So we buy for nieces and nephews. So I just say, you know, what do they want this year? What are they into? Just to give me an idea of what I can get them. I'm also thinking about what I want to wear, so I do really like to recycle and reuse things that I've already got as much as I can, or I might buy second hand. So definitely, yeah, thinking about what I want to wear this year, what the kids are going to wear, what have they grown out of, if they need things for parties, but also Christmas jumpers. So there's usually something going on in the schools. So my husband's a teacher, so he needs to wear a Christmas jumper at certain times. So it's just working out, have you got the right things? Have they grown? Do they need new? And actually it is a good time, if you go on things like Marketplace, to pick up secondhand Christmas jumpers that are just hardly worn, for a really good price. I've also noticed in quite a lot of the local charity shops, they've got a Christmas jumper rail in the charity shops, which is great. So you can pick up other options for Christmas jumpers. I like to make sure that I've got all my wrapping paper, any bows, tags, all of that kind of stuff ready, so that I'm not having to go and buy that at the last minute. This year I really want to use as much recycled paper or recyclable paper as I can, and I've bought some recyclable sticky tape, which is actually really pretty, that I can use to wrap up, because I'm just really conscious that I don't want to throw loads of sort of plasticky things away this year, but I want to make sure that I've got lots and lots of stock of all those things. I always reuse things like my ribbons, so I know that they'll get used over and over again. I just iron the ribbons lightly, and I will use them again. I also like to get the Christmas cards and thank you cards sorted out early. So at the primary school, my daughter designed a Christmas card. I think most schools do this to raise money. So I've ordered some Christmas cards and some postcards that we're going to use as thank you notes after Christmas. So it's really good to have those ready to go. I don't send very many Christmas cards anymore because it's just so expensive, but I do send a few, usually with a nice sort of note and things like that. And I like to use Christmas stamps, so I will also get those bought from the post office when they become available, and I will check the dates. Finally, in the run-up, I do like to do a declutter. I like to declutter my clothes, I like to declutter toys, but also things like cleaning out and clearing out the fridge and the freezer. So I really like to eat lots of things up, make sure I'm a meal planning around what I've got, get everything cleaned out, because I know that I'm going to obviously have a lot of food coming in the run-up to Christmas. And also I do like to bake ahead and cook ahead as much as I can. So when I hosted Christmas before, I did make things like Jamie Oliver's make ahead turkey gravy, things like that, that you can freeze. So I want to make sure I've got that space in the freezer to do those things. I also like to get the oven really cleaned, so I'm planning that and just going to time block that into my calendar and make sure that I get the oven cleaned. It's a really big task at the moment to get both ovens clean and the top all cleaned, ready for the big day. I do also like to get on and make sure that the rest of the house is clean, so I'll go through and do a deep clean of every room in the run-up to Christmas. I have got a bit of a DIY job going on at the moment that I'm aiming to get finished by Christmas. There's nothing like setting myself goals. I think it's a little bit ambitious, but I will see what I can get done. But it's just important, you know, you want things to be really, really like perfect, and I know it will never be completely perfect, but I like to feel that I can actually relax and enjoy it. And I think last year, in that last week before Christmas, I felt a lot more calm because I had planned, I'd organised, I did that blitz of wrapping that I mentioned, that kind of thing, and it was a lot more calm and relaxed. So yeah, just let me know, what things are you doing to get ready for Christmas? Have you got some other tips that you can share? Because I love hearing your tips and learning from you. I hope you're all doing well. If you're not a subscriber, then please subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.